We're back again with the Xtreme. Today we are going to be hopefully wiring in the fog lights, because the guy told us when he did the swap and all that, he used the harness from the other truck, and that truck didn't have fog lights or something like that. I don't know, but that harness didn't have it wasn't wired for the fog lights. So he gave us this kit that he got on eBay, and this pretty much has the pigtails, which we're going to use. And then if everything works out as it should, then we should have fog lights working with the factory switch. We do have the factory switch in there. This thing only has I can't show you, but it has power cable, so the power runs to the pigtail, then from there bridges over to this one, and also the grounds are connected, and then we would just have to ground this cable to that side of the truck. So let me pop the hood real quick and explain to you what we're gonna do. So we kind of looked some of this up online, and this is the fuse box for the engine bay. I don't know what these are for yet, so we're not gonna mess with that for now. But this is the relay for the fog light switch, and what I'm gonna do right now, I know it does click when we push the button inside the cab, but I'm not sure which one is gonna get power. So my plan is to find the one that gets power when you push on the button, and then I'm gonna just run that red cable into this relay from underneath the box, so it could be pretty much factory. You're just gonna have one red cable coming in from underneath. We seen some guy that did the video, but he was on the smaller plug, and at least for this truck, it's a 2007, it's the bigger plug in the middle. We were trying to figure that out yesterday, and we just didn't get to finishing it. So I'm gonna get some little piece of wires just to wrap around this, and then I'm gonna shove it back in here, and I'm gonna use my test light, and I'll show you right now what I mean. This is the idea that I came up with right now. I'm gonna shove all this back in there, and then I'll just be testing the cables from up here. I don't even know what I'm doing, to be honest, but I kind of looked at the diagram online, and I don't know how to do the wiring on cars and stuff. I'm trying to figure this out right now though, but I know one of these should have constant power. So this one, the white one, has constant power. Can't show you guys, but the yellow one doesn't have anything, because I think that one should be ground. The brown one, I'm not sure. Okay, so one of these is going to be ground. The yellow one is ground. Oh. So I think this is the switch. The brown one, it might be the switch. The green one doesn't do anything. All right, so these two are out, at least for now. So I turned the fog light switch on. This one still clicks. Okay, this one's really dim, this green one. Let me see if I turn off the fog light switch. I want to see if it will still have power or not. This one right here, it's really dim, and then this one just makes the whole thing click. Turned it off. I don't know if you guys were able to hear that. So this one's still very low voltage, and this one obviously is going to click. So another idea that I have Another idea that just came up to my head was to wire everything up, and then this extra long cable, this is the power cable. What I could do is just it's either gonna be the green one or the brown one. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run the cable up here, and then I'm just gonna hold it to it, and someone's gonna flick the fog light switch on and off and see if that makes it work. I'll pull this out just so I could remove some of the cables. Turn off the truck. This is the underside of the truck, and these fog lights just pop in. We didn't show you guys. We just decided to pop both of them in, but yeah, they just slide right in. That's power, and then we're gonna have to do ground on these. This is the other side. I don't know if there's a right or, oh yeah, there is. I think so. Yeah, there is. Okay, so I have to figure out a way to ground this cable real quick. If I'm able to kind of just get it stuck somewhere for now. Let me figure this out, and then I'll put you guys back on once we're up in the engine bay again. So I cut the power cable way up here because either way this cable is way too long, so we would have to shorten it no matter what, just in case we end up using this harness, obviously. So I just wired it to this green cable. We're gonna turn on the fog light and see if it works. And also the ground is just stuck on the body, I mean on the frame. There's no light, so I think that's it. Let's see what's up with this one right here, the brown one. I'm gonna touch the brown cable with the red cable. Nope, no light. So another thing we could do is make sure that that ground is properly secured. Let me try to figure that out real quick and then put you guys on. Oh, you know what? I am going to test the plug. I'm going to test this plug down here. See if it has any power. So this is where I put the ground. I have to secure that in order to test properly, but for now we're going to just test the plug. We'll test it down here. So I ran the power directly to the battery up there in the engine bay to test to see if these lights work, and I'm pretty sure you guys can see it right there. The light is on. So we have to figure out a power source up in the fuse box and figure out a good ground for this harness. So since it does work, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna route the cables right now, tuck them up out of the way, zip tie them, whatever I gotta do, and then we'll just mess with the power up there. That way I could figure out a good grounding spot for this cable. So once I do that, I'll put you guys back on, show you guys how I routed everything, and then we'll be good to go. Okay, so there's two things that I figured out right now. The ground that I shortened right there is way too short, so I'm gonna have to use a self-tapper to go to the chassis. That's one thing, which is not a big deal. And then on the relay, earlier I was testing this out, which is the backup lamp. This fuse right here, this is the fog lights. So I did the same thing because I wasn't getting any on and off action from this one. So I went over to the fog lamp, the right relay, and then I did the 4-wire thing. And then this one is still ground. The top left, the way we're facing the fuse box, top left is ground. This one was, think it was constant power or something. And then this one right here, this is the switch. And this yellow one, which is the top right, that's the fog light signal wire. Turn it off, the light. So I'm gonna connect it right now, show you guys that it's gonna work. So that's right there. Click it, click it again. So now what we're gonna do is completely tuck away all the cables and everything. Make sure everything is nicely tucked away. I'm gonna relocate that ground cable, and then we're gonna route this to the other side, and then I'll explain to you what we're gonna do under this fuse box. We cleaned up the wiring a bit. We tucked it here to the side. We had to extend this side a little bit, so we dropped it all the way down. And then on this side, we also zip tied it to existing harness. That right there, that self tapper, that's a ground for the harness. And then this is the only cable that we're gonna be routing up to the box, which is gonna go in here somewhere. Right now we just have it to that cable, and we're gonna test it for you guys. We're gonna be able to turn these on and off. Go turn it on. Nah, just the switch. That's pushing the switch on the inside of the cab. Turn it off. Then this side. On. Off. And we just ordered the new headlights for this truck, so we're gonna, oh, something's wrong with the harness, because these lights work and don't work at the same time, so I don't know. But we ordered some new headlights, and then we're gonna, oh, there you go, look. Then we're gonna fix this harness. But right now what we're gonna do, turn it off, turn everything off. We're gonna open up this fuse box. We're gonna disconnect the power. So that's a 10mm in up here, just so we won't short anything out. We know we're going to this relay right here, top right corner. So we have a little, where is it? One of these little female connectors. This one right here, the really small one. So we're gonna try to make that work, so we could just go straight to this relay from underneath the box. We pulled out the battery just to get to this tab right here. This fuse box has some tabs right here and right here, which release it from the lower part. And then we undid all the power to this fuse right here, the A&L fuse. So now we're going to remove these bolts to figure out which one goes to this relay right here. So it's 7mm bolts. And then that, once you remove those, they release these harness plugs right here. We just gotta make sure we get the right one. This one right here, corner. So let me take it off. Once you remove these bolts, you could just wiggle the plug out from underneath. So we pulled out the cover of the green plug. It's just these little tabs right here. Pry them off, and then this will come out like this. So you just pry them. You can pull this off, and then in order to get in here, if you need to pull out a cable or something, you have to remove these little green tabs, these things. So they're in there like that, and you just slide them off. It's like a pick or something. So the one that we're trying to get to right now, it's this one right here, right in the middle. So I had a harness my scrap pile, and it was this one right here, but it's too small to fit in there. So what I'm gonna end up doing, I think I'm gonna use the one that I had. I'm gonna try to use this, and it's gonna go up in there. If it fits, yeah, it fits. So I'm just gonna take off this insulation part. I'm gonna shorten this red cable. I'm gonna put it exactly where I want it, then give it a little extra, more than the length I actually need. I'm gonna crimp it, put a heat shrink over it just so it won't come in contact with anything else, and then I'm gonna slide it into that little box just to make sure it has a good contact point. Or I might even just slide the cable all the way through the wire and then push it back through, pull it back through, just so we know that it's connected directly to this relay and it won't come back off. And once you're done, you just put the little clips back on the cover and you bolt it back to the fuse box, and you can put everything back together. I'm gonna get to doing this one and then I'll put you guys back on once it's all done. So we ended up putting the cable all the way through. We put the little clip back on, so you can see this is our red cable, the new one. We're gonna plug it in from back here. And make sure it's all the way in. The heat shrink already got damaged because we had to pull the plug back out because we forgot to put that little clip, the little plastic, but it's still, it goes back into the little plastic sleeve or the little housing, so there's no problem. We just decided to put it on just because. And then this is our loom. I'm gonna try to tuck it in there a little bit. So now we could put this bolt back in, and we're going to right here, we're going to put the loom next to the factory loom and put all these little plastics back in. Once everything is put back together, we'll put you guys back on to show you how it looks. Everything is put back in. This is what the fuse box looks like. This is for the seats, I believe, but you can't really tell that the harness is running in there. It's down here. We also soldered, well, actually crimped another connection right here. There was like a little yellow wire displaced to extend that wire, but we were able to still get it to where it had to go with the crimp and clean that up. Battery's back in. We still need to charge it, but for now we're just gonna test it. So everything is zip tight, everything is secured. Go. Turn it off. On. On. Off. So last night we recorded the last clip, but we had to redo it because it was too dark. So I'm gonna just give you guys a quick rundown again of what we did. And at the beginning of the video, we were talking about the wrong relay. Talking about this relay, but in reality it's this one right here for the fog lights, at least on this truck, which is a 2007. The same thing, we would have done the same thing if we would have started off with this relay. We would have done the 4 little cables at the terminals to test out which one is power and which one's ground and all that. It would have worked out the same way. But anyways, we went into the fuse box from underneath. This is the cable going into the fuse box, going into this terminal, and that's our ground right there. And then we ran the wires right here next to the factory wiring. We dropped it down here, and then it goes to the other fog light. What else? I don't know about all these other cables. I think this is for like the seats and stuff. We're gonna clean that up later on. I'll show you guys the factory fog light switch on this truck. It's this one right here. So when the light is on, the fog lights are on. When the little orange light is off, it means that the light is off. If you guys have any questions, make sure to leave it in the comment section down below, or hit us up on Instagram at @Yonke_OXC Films, and we will catch you guys on the next one.